Great to have Chipper Jones in the house today here on the Belue Show. Office has been abuzz this morning, Chipper, waiting on you to show up. How things going, man? What's up?
Going pretty well. Obviously, really tuned in to what the Braves have been doing here recently, and obviously, like you said, 5-game series at Citi Field, New York. It's time to put up or shut up if you're an Atlanta Brave in that clubhouse.
Man, you've been attending a lot of Braves games.
Well,
How much do you enjoy that?
I'm still affiliated. Obviously, I can't be in the clubhouse or in the batting cages like I was last year with the mandated vaccine thing. So, yeah, I mean, that's the best way to get as close to the guys as I can. I still keep in touch with those guys. In fact, exchanged some texts with Austin Riley after he signed his big deal, telling him how proud I was of him and that you need to really go up there and concentrate on setting the tone in New York this weekend.
Yeah, we were all focused on the trade deadline and what Alex would do as far as some deals, getting some new guys in here, and then he pulls a fast one on us. Next thing we know, Riley's signing a 10-year contract. What do you make of the deal? I described it as a win-win, a win for both sides. Austin gets some money up front that he wouldn't have gotten, and then down the road, the Braves save a little money, apparently.
I think some of the younger guys are kind of learning from some of the older guys, not really wanting to push it to the point that, some of their predecessors did. And obviously being able to have that much money this early on in your career, heck, with a simple signing of his name, he made more money, with the stroke of a pen than I did in my whole career, So it's I'm extremely happy for him. He's worked extremely hard. Alex Anthopoulos has done a great job of getting money in front of these young guys and not letting them get to free agency and making sure that we have them for a long, long time and, on team-friendly contracts. That's a big thing when you're talking about Acuña and Albies, Olson, Riley. I'm sure Max Fried's turn is probably coming here pretty soon. To have those guys all locked up for the next 6, 8, 10 years is certainly a feather in Alex's cap going forward because it allows him flexibility to be able to build around them as well.
Yeah, this young core he's got locked down. They'll all be there through 25 into 26, I believe it is. So Braves country should be really excited. I mean, you look at the infield, you got your first base, second base, third base locked in for an extended period of time. And, of course, we're all hoping Dansby's going to find a way to re-up also.
Well, it remains to be seen. Obviously, I'm sure that Alex and Dansby have had talks. We're just going to have to see how that all plays out. I'll tell you this, Dansby certainly hasn't hurt his case for being a top 5, top 6 shortstop in the league with the year that he's had this year. He's had perfect time. We all know he's a great player. I mean, he's always been a solid defender. He's had some swing and miss in the past, but man, he's worked really hard to get himself up into the 290s, still hitting the ball out of the ballpark and still playing incredible defense.
Alex doing it again, too, at the trade deadline. We needed an outfielder to replace Duvall, a guy that could hit Enfield. We needed a utility guy working the infield with Ozzie out for apparently the rest of the month. He'll be back in September. And then got a little pitching help. Anthopoulos is amazing.
Well, you knew that they were going to get somebody to complement Rosario from the right side. That turned out to be Robbie Grossman. Robbie Grossman, all he's got is like a 990 OPS against lefties. So they've got their right-handed complement to Rosario. So you can bet you're going to see a platoon out there in left field. I said all along I thought we needed another arm. What does he do? He goes and gets a closer from the Angels. I've thought a tremendous amount of Iglesias, especially when he was over in Cincinnati. Did a tremendous job. I think he's second or third in saves over the last 5 or 6 years in all of baseball. And so you're getting a quality arm down there at the end of the bullpen. We'll see how it all shakes out as to, who gets the high leverage nod in the 8th and 9th innings.
Yeah, and he's got 3 years left on his deal, so we got
control over him too. Yeah.
Danson's runs out at the end of the year, a 1-year contract. So apparently got Iglesias here is going to be closing out games for the next 2-3 years.
Yep. It's nice to have options A and B down at the end of the bullpen. Obviously, if somebody stumbles and, Kenley's having a little trouble with the hip, obviously we don't know with the heart condition and whatnot. It's nice to have a plan B down there if he can't go.
Chipper Jones in the house in studio here on the Buck Belue Show on 680 The Fan. Chipper, any way you can help out Acuña? He's been in a little bit of a funk. I was noticing the home run derby, he had some pitches in the middle of the plate. He was even fouling some of those back. Just looks like one little adjustment might be able to set him loose. What are you seeing out of Ronald?
Yeah, I've had some conversations with sites over the last couple of weeks. There's one thing I noticed on TV is the fact that he is really diving into the pitches. Like he's almost stepping at the second base position. So what that is doing to him, it's cutting his swing off. He's getting jammed on pitches basically right down the middle. If we can just get him to the point where he's stepping at the pitcher or maybe even just a little left of the pitcher so that when he starts his swing, his hips can open, you're going to see balls start flying out of the ballpark right now. He is really scuffling to keep that. And I don't know, coming off an injury like an ACL, I never had any reservations when I came back from my 2 ACLs hitting. I did in the field and on the bases until I got used to it. But it seems to me like he's really, I wouldn't say favoring it, but maybe gotten into some bad habits because, of that injury. And, man, it sure would be nice to see the old Ronald Acuña jump back in the saddle this week in Queens because we certainly need more of a contribution from him than what he's been doing. Hey, look, we all struggle. We all go into slumps. I think, he's 3.5 years into his big league career, and this is really the first time we've talked about him really struggling. So it's going to happen. It happens to everybody. We just got to he's got to work to get himself out of it.
The big story with Freddie Freeman, and you were sort of caught right in the middle of it. You didn't get in trouble for any of those comments, did you?
No. I mean, I think that the only time I got in trouble was when I talked about Freddie during the strike. That's when I got in trouble because I'm not supposed to talk about, any pending free agents during the strike. So, hey, listen.
So he's doing well, but
he's doing great.
Alex got Olson in here. I think that was the big deal this year. That was the big splash, was making the move to get Olson in here. And what do you think of the way he's playing?
I think he's done great. Obviously, a ton of extra base hits. There's been some swing and miss at times. But I think he's come in here and done a tremendous job kind of either hitting in front of or hitting behind Austin Riley. It's always a big adjustment when you come to a new team, when you're in a new league, in a different division, especially coming back home. There's got to be a bunch of pressure on him from friends and family coming to games every night. That can be more of a hindrance than,
hey, man, can I get 4 tickets tonight?
Something welcome. So we'll just have to wait and see how things turn out. I think he's got some big moments left on the horizon coming this year, and all it's going to take is one big swing of the bat from Matt Olson to endear himself to this fan base, and the rest will be history.
All right, what do you think of this Mets down the road? We get them 12 times from here to the end of the season, 9 times in the next 15 games. What do you make of where they're at, and how do you think it's going to play out?
I was very impressed with the Mets when they came to town. I thought it was a great litmus test for both teams when they came to town, a few weeks ago. And I even texted Kevin Seitzer. I was like, man, the Mets were better than y'all this weekend. They were better than y'all, but as we all know, there were a bunch of teams that were better than the Braves for the first 4 months of the season last year. There was nobody better than us the last 2 months. So you really kind of hope that the Mets have peaked, right now. I know that's hard to justify because they're getting Jacob deGrom back, who, arguably is the best pitcher in baseball. But the Braves are going to have to do what the Mets did to our pitching staff. The Mets made our guys throw a lot of pitches in the first 5 innings. They got into our bullpen, in the 6th and 7th inning. We're going to have to do that to them. We're going to have to get Scherzer out of the game. We're going to have to get DeGrom out of the game. Taijuan Walker has pitched extremely well. Bassett pitched really well here in Atlanta. So they've got 5 quality starters, and the first one will be Cookie Carrasco tomorrow. These guys throw strikes. They have swing and miss ability. They play to the strengths of their defense, and they are stingy with each and every at bat at the plate. So this is a very good ball club. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be there right till the end. Hopefully, we can keep them in our sights and jump on them here whenever we get them head to head.
On a lighter note, how'd you enjoy the alumni weekend last weekend? Were you?
It was great. I watched on TV. I was actually in Atlantic City at the National Card Show convention, so I had that appearance on my docket for quite some time, and I couldn't make it back. But always a fun time to see all the greats come back, put the jersey on, the parade and whatnot, walk out on the field. Got a chance to talk to Andrew the other night at the baseball game. So, it's always a good time. I look forward to coming back next year.
Happy for Leo?
Oh, yeah. Leo's great. He's one of the characters, always was one of the characters in our clubhouse. Obviously, did tremendous things with Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz. Bobby Cox's right-hand man, the rockin' rooster there on the bench, So good to see him finally get his due and go into the Braves Hall of Fame.
How's the golf game?
The golf game has been pretty solid until yesterday. I played 27 on Tuesday and 27 yesterday, and I never played 2 days in a row. I always have to, give myself some time off, and it showed yesterday. A little spotty.
All right, the Gators now got him a new coach down there. Looks like he's recruiting a little better.
Yeah.
You're probably anxious to see Mullen head on out the door.
Well, let's look forward. I look forward to seeing what Napier's going to do down there. Obviously, we'll know right away as to what the discipline is like on that football team. I've said for quite some time that it looked like the inmates were kind of running the asylum down there, and we'll see if he instills a little discipline in what's going on. I see he's already kicked a few off the team, and I've been keeping track of some of the 4 stars that they've been recruiting, getting commitments from, but they still got a long way to go before they catch up to them dogs over in Athens.
A lot of talk about Kirby pulling that game out, Florida game back to Athens, but there is some good news, and for the older people that like going down to Jacksonville, the Gators will keep it there, so it will at least be there every other year.
Right. Well, I'd like to see it stay there. I mean, obviously, if
have you done a couple of those?
Oh yeah. I went to high school in Jacksonville. You best believe. Heck, the Gators and dogs every once in a while came and worked out on our field. So, it was. It'd be a shame for one team to pull out and not the other. I think we should do it. If one team's going to do it, then we need to do a home and home. Otherwise, let's keep it right there in Jacksonville. It's a staple. I mean, it's been there for as long as I can remember. I know you had some home and homes, right? Were you always?
Yeah, we were in Jacksonville 4 years.
You were in Jacksonville for 4 years. Okay, so, man, that was a long time ago. It's been there a long time. I'd hate to see it. I hate to see it go away because I think both fan bases love it. Really, I mean, and now that Georgia's kicking Florida's butt every year, they don't mind going down there as much as they used to.
Yeah, these young folks, they don't care anything about going to the beach, playing golf, hanging out for a few days. They'd rather this thing just stay home and home.
Yep.
Or go back to that. Chipper, know you're busy. Appreciate your time today. Thanks for hanging out with us.
My pleasure, Buck. Always good to be here.
We'll see you down the road. Yep. Chipper Jones in the house. Coming back, we'll talk about the Bulldogs. Big day as they hit the practice field. I've got a to-do list for the Bulldogs in camp. We'll unveil that next. It's the Buck Belue Show here on the Fan, 680 and 93.7.